Evening, madam.
What could I say after
Хранить деньги в сберегательной кассе. Конечно, они у вас есть.
Damn, man. It's brick. It's brick, man. It's brick. So I came inside because it's cold. It's really cold outside, and I'm inside right now because it's cold outside. So that's why I'm filming in my living room. In case you're wondering, I was talking with a bunch of older black gentlemen that have kids, and I was talking to, a bunch of other people, and specifically, my question pertains to black Americans, not ones that immigrated from another country, but ones that originated in America, like they're just black and in America. I noticed that a lot of their parents, or those that do have kids, either when they start to turn 18, or when they start like growing up, they always tell them you're either gonna go to college or you're gonna go to the military. Yeah, like college or the military, and I don't really know how I feel about that. So that was just one of my questions, because if I was, if my pops or my parents told me, hey, you're either gonna go to college or the military, that'd be a lot of pressure on me. It'd make me want to go to college, obviously, because I'm not going to the military. I served crack before I served this country. But like, it's just like, it's just something I don't really understand quite well. When like you have a child and you're like, as a parent, right? Hold on. First of all, disclaimer: I'm not telling y'all how to raise y'all kids. I'm just curious, and I'm just concerned. I'm curious, concerned. One of those two. Isn't the job of a parent supposed to be to like nurture and make sure that child is safe? So why is it that as soon as they turn 18, everything is like down the shitter? Like you can say like, oh, my kid's 18 now, he can go like do whatever he wants. Like, I don't have to take care of him. And I don't know how I feel about it. And I get into that more, but my battery's dying. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, man. Like, yeah, as a parent, I obviously don't. The last thing, like, this is just purely from a parental perspective, right? Regardless of if you're a parent by choice or by not, if you're a parent, your main priority is your kids. They didn't choose to be born. They didn't choose to be brought into this world. You brought them into this world. So wouldn't it be counterintuitive to send them off to a place where they could potentially die, in order to like give them something? Like, is it to give them structure, or is it to like, I'm just genuinely curious, right? I don't understand why the ultimatum of going to the military and going to college are the only two options that you give your kids, right? Or do you present these kids? Because maybe going to college isn't like, one, going to college isn't for everybody. Nobody has to go to college, right? It helps a lot, but no matter what you do after college, you're still gonna struggle. Like, it's gonna be easier to find a job out of college than it would like my whole thing with a college degree is, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, it's also like college isn't like, it takes everybody a long time to go to college. It takes everybody and not everybody has the funds. So my thing again is, if you don't have the funds to put your kid through college, give them two options, because it really is two options. Because most black people don't have the funds to go to college in general, because college is just dummy expensive. You feel me? So if my pops were to say, oh, hey, you either going to college and get into all this debt, or you're going to the military, where you're there and your health risk is almost always out of potential. There are different parts of the military, right? So you don't have to do that depending on how smart you are. But let's say you were just like a C student, right? You're not the smartest in the world, but you're not like you're not like an idiot. You know what I mean? So where do you fit in, right? I know I'm sure there's all different parts of the military, but like my general consensus is, if a war were to pop off or some shit were to pop off to like tomorrow, right? Would you be happy that the kids you gave the ultimatum to chose the military, went to the military, and wound up dead? I'm pretty sure like no parent wants to know that their child is dead. So why would you give them the ultimatum of going to the military or college when there are plenty of other things? Like, you could go to culinary school, you could go to like trade school, right? There could be different things. It doesn't have to just be college or military. I understand if you want to, put your kid through, like, give them structure, or give them like guidance, like have something something so that they can make of themselves in the future. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think this idea of, okay, once you turn 18, my job is done. I don't have to take care, like, I don't have to take care of my kid once he turns 18. Legally, you don't have to do that. And that's completely fine. But if you think back of when you were 18, what did you have when you were 18? Right? What did you do when you were that age? You didn't have shit. You didn't have nothing. So why would, like, I just don't understand why on God's green earth, if I'm 18 and if I'm 18 and I got kicked out of my mom's house, or I got kicked in my dad's house, and then I have a kid and then he turns 18 and then I kick him out of his house, what, like, is that supposed to like teach? Is that supposed to teach a lesson? Is that supposed to like, cause at 18 you don't have anything, and then at 18 you gotta, like, boom, you gotta find a place to live. You gotta find rent, and then you gotta, let's say you work at this McDonald's spot, or you work at this Best Buy job, this retail spot, in order just to make ends meet. So now you're putting your child, what you had to go through, right, already set back. That isn't that I genuinely think that inherently isn't fair, because remember now, they are your kid. The idea of just like trying to just send your kid away once they turn 18, or once they turn any age, when they don't have stuff set up for them, it doesn't make any sense. Now, I granted there is a point to where, like, okay, you gotta start, like, setting something up for yourself, right? So like, I feel like mid to late 20s is when a kid should start, like, setting like getting set up. But the idea that like you just stop parenting your child after they turn 18 makes no sense. It makes zero sense, right? And why, like, do you really love your kid? I'm sure like no parent wants to see their kid die. I'm sure no parent wants to see their kid just, no parent, no father, no mother wants to see their son or daughter and get a mail or a knock on the door saying, yeah, this person died serving the country. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You don't want to, like, no parent wants to see that. So why would I give that option to why would I give that option? Why would you even present that option? I think as though, like, we need to, like, talk about the core strengths. We gotta start playing to the strengths of, like, the children, the people that are, put in these positions, because not everybody has a choice. I understand, like, it may have happened to you, right? It may have had to been this way, like, when I would, like, for example, if your pops was like, hey, I had to struggle for everything I did, I had to grind my way up, I had to do all this X, Y, and Z, I had to do everything on my own, right? That's cool for you, bro. That's cool for you. So why should I have to struggle? Why should I have to endure the same struggle if your whole motive is to like instill that in me? You know what I'm saying? Just because, right, you struggle doesn't mean I have to. You can still challenge me, but if your whole standpoint is I struggled and I came over here from this country for example, I came over here from this country, or I struggled and I made it on my own just for you guys. So if you, like, I think it's counterintuitive if if that's your standpoint, and then you're putting your kid through the same exact struggle you did, even though you have the means, and your reasoning is to give your kids a better life. If you struggle to give your kids a better life, it should only make sense that they have a better life than yours. Is that not crazy? Is it not crazy to say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, and that's my problem. Like, I understand that's my problem with certain people of the older generation. I just don't think they get that, because it's sort of like an ageism thing. Like, oh, I endured all this pain. It wasn't like this when it was you, when like I was your age. That's good. It's supposed to not be like that. It's supposed to like be easier. The whole point of growing up and doing all these things and then passing everything down to your kids is so your kids can have that generational wealth, or have that generational thing that can be passed down to. It's important to have something passed down. I'm not saying don't just spoon feed your kids, because nobody likes a spoon fed person. Nobody likes nepo babies. You know what I mean? But what I am saying is that it shouldn't be like this fend for myself, dog eat dog world, when you're just sitting up here on your high horse and you have all the resources, but you give your kids none, right? You can give your kids the means, right? And you can continue to be a guidance. You can continue to be a mentor. That's what being a parent is about, I feel as though a lot of people have lost a sense of what it means to have a kid, and what it means to just take care of them. Because I know my mom, she's my mom for life until the end she will never stop being my mom, right? It doesn't make sense that, oh, just because this person got married and this person went away, does that not make her my mom anymore? No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense. We can't just sit here and just pretend that hey, my kid's 18, I don't have to take care of him anymore. No, you still have to take care of him, because what did you have when you was 18? Or what do you think they will have? You gotta be objective. You gotta look at it objectively. You gotta look at it objectively speaking. You can't just say, hey, when you're out of high school, you either have to go to college or the military. I'm not gonna take care of you as soon as. That makes no sense. Dude, I feel as though you don't really comprehend the decision, and that you're giving a 18-year-old boy or girl to make, because that is a life-changing decision. Going to college is a life-changing decision. Going to the military is a life-changing decision that could possibly have, good or bad effects. And you're giving an 18-year-old that hasn't experienced the world, right? Hasn't been through a lot of things, right? So, and you, with your 40 years of judgment, or 40 to 50 years of judgment and experience and knowledge, right? You expect somebody to make a life-changing decision half your age? That's crazy. That's crazy. So that's just my reasoning why I'm just really curious and really confused about giving ultimatums to people that don't have experience in that regard. Maybe right, this could possibly contradict my whole thing. Maybe it's someone is in the hood or something, or somebody doesn't have structure. I understand, and maybe the military is the only way out. That is probably the only exception I could possibly think, because if someone lives in Detroit and they're just a badass kid in school, then I understand. I can kind of understand why you think going to the military will straighten them out. But a lot of people come out the military fucked up with PTSD and stuff like that, or depression. I think going to college would give somebody a little bit more structure, or at least put them in an environment to learn. It also depends on what college they go to. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. It's cold outside. Thursday. Please, please, please subscribe. Please, please subscribe. Please, I'm begging you. You know, I'm gonna do a lot more of these talking videos, so because I think people enjoy them. So thank you. Please subscribe, please.